Allie, and welcome to week 2 of NaNoWriMo. We are going to try to get to 20,000 words total in the manuscript today. That means around 3,000 words of writing today, which means I need to get going because it's already 9 a.m. and today is a Tuesday, which means that I have dance again today. And so I'm going to try to get all of that stuff done in the morning and vlog the process. So I will check back in with you downstairs after I have made myself some coffee, and we will talk about this past week of NaNoWriMo. So let's recap, shall we? The last time that I spoke with you about my Nano project, I was just shy of my 2,000 word count goal for that day. I did end up coming back later and finishing up and getting to that 2,000 point, which ended at, it put me at 9,556 words for total for that day. So as of November 5th, that was my word count, which meant that the next day, that Wednesday, which is when I actually posted that video, I was aiming to get past 10,000 words. Something that happened on Tuesday that I did not document is that very late into the night, I received this book, Supernova by Marissa Meyer, which I have been waiting for. On Wednesday, I decided that before I got to writing, I was just so excited to read this book, I was going to be too distracted, so I might as well just read a little bit and then get to writing afterwards. I started reading that book at like 6:15 a.m. and then suddenly it was like 3:30 and I had finished the whole book, and I had not gotten up from my chair once. So it wasn't until later that day that I was able to come back and get some writing done, but I did end up getting 1,680 words in it that day, so I actually succeeded in my goal. I didn't get up to 2K or anything, but way beyond my original goal for that day, which was just to get the 500 words, and then I needed to get up to 10. That was my Wednesday, and then we had the following Thursday, which nothing really happened on Thursday. It was a relatively non-busy day. I got in 2,521 words on that day, which brought my total for my manuscript as of November 7th up to 13,757 words, which was pretty great because the recommended amount of words that NaNoWriMo suggests that you have on any particular day, they suggest that you have 11,669 as of the 7th, and so I was pretty much just above the recommendation for the next day, so I had pretty much bought myself an extra day, which was great, but I ended up needing more than one day. So so the following day was Friday. I needed to film Friday morning, and so that's what I did. I got up early, did my makeup, filmed the video, edited the video, got it ready to post, all of that fun stuff. And then in the afternoon, that is when I always go over to my parents' house for game night. So there just was not a lot of time for writing then, and I wasn't really bothered about it. But then we got to Saturday, and Saturday was another 0 word day for me. So Friday, 0 words, and Saturday, also 0. Saturday was actually a funny story because I said last week that Saturday was kind of an adulting day last week, where we just had a lot of kind of stuff to get done, just grocery shopping and car maintenance and things like that. But that same thing kind of happened this Saturday, only it was more close to home because we actually have a gopher that has now taken up residence in our front yard, which is not great. My dad came over and we were just getting rid of all of these huge dirt mounds that he has popped up all throughout our yard. We pulled weeds, we got some mulch and spread the mulch to cover all of the sand where the dirt mounds were. It was a fun day. By the time I got inside, I was like, no writing is happening today, which was a bummer because I did dip underneath the 15,000 words is the recommended for November 9th, and I still only had 13,000. So then the next day was Sunday, and I don't really remember what I was doing on Sunday. Oh, yes I do. Sunday, I was playing Sims. Oh no, I'm exposing myself. So for those of you guys who don't really follow Sims, there is a new expansion pack coming out that is university, college related, and that comes out next Friday. I went and played Sims so that I could make a family that I can send to college. I mean, they're super cute. I love them, but it wasn't writing related. Rowan has red hair, and so does my Sim that I made, so connections. But I wasn't a total failure that day. I did get 1,200 words in for that Sunday because I was at least not going to get 0 words for 3 days in a row. So I did get that many. And then we come to yesterday, which was an attempt to catch back up. I got 2,348 words. Definitely wish I'd gotten more to make up for those past days, but you know, the recommended amount to have in your manuscript at this point is 18,337 words, and as of yesterday I have 17,330 words. So if I'd gotten 1,000 words more, I would have been really happy, but I'm going to try to make up for that today. Hopefully we will get to 20,000 words in this manuscript today. That just means that I have to write 3,000 words. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna get right into it because it's almost 10 a.m. now. I'm probably going to do a 5-minute warm-up like I usually do. I do have a pretty good idea of what I'm working on today, and then we are just going to check back in after a longer 20-minute sprint, and then we will see where we're at from there. We're back. So I just finished my first 20-minute sprint, and I have, let's see, how many words? 659 words written so far. So not too bad for a first 20-minute sprint. I am working on a scene right now that is a continuation of a scene that I wrote before, but it's kind of a sandwich scene because I have written obviously the stuff that comes before chronologically, but I've also written the stuff that comes after this scene chronologically in my jigsaw puzzle pieces thing. I wrote that a couple days ago, and so I'm trying to smush those together. So not only am I trying to make the story progress from the beginning point, but I'm trying to make it match up with the end point. And so I need to kind of figure out where this conversation is going that they're having right now and how to get me from point A to point B. I am probably going to try to do a little bit of some longer sprints today because usually for these videos I do like a little update and then I do a 20-minute sprint and then come back and forth because that usually is enough time for me to kind of get some writing done, but then also have enough time to come back and chat with you guys. But for today, since I do have a lot of words to get in, I'm going to maybe do some longer sprints. I'm going to do my next one 30, and then if I am feeling really just spicy, I might do a 45-minute sprint after that. If I'm going to get 3,000 words in today, then I'm probably going to connect these two scenes today, so I will have completed the sandwich by the end of today, unless I get distracted and start writing something in Jigsaw, which happens a lot. So that is where I am going to be starting for this next 30-minute sprint, and I will check back in with you afterwards. All right, Jenny wanted to join us, so I have brought her up onto my lap, but I just finished that 30-minute sprint, so I got pretty good amount of words in. I think it was a little over 800, which brings my total for today so far up to a little bit higher than 1,400, which is pretty good on track after 2 sprints to have almost, half of my goal for today done is pretty good. So I need another 1,200 words to get up to my goal for today, my overall goal, which is 20,000 words. So I am going to do probably 2 more sprints, and hopefully those 2 combined will get me to that point, which should work out pretty well time-wise because it is around 12 o'clock now, a little bit shy of 12. And so I'm going to take a short little break to reheat my coffee, maybe watch a YouTube video, take Ginny out, and play with her a little bit because she's in need of attention right now. And then I'm going to come back and do another 2 sprints, which should get me to my goal for today, hopefully, if I'm able to kind of keep this momentum going of, 600 to 800 words per sprint. And then I am going to have to go to dance. As far as what I've actually been writing during these sprints, I'm all just on the same scene. I'm still in the little kind of sandwiching 2 things together, the stuff that I wrote before and the stuff that has been kind of jigsaw puzzle pieced into the story. So I am working on kind of filling those gaps. And in doing so, I have inadvertently stumbled upon this very deep character moment that is probably going to end up being moved. I still like it. I'm still probably going to keep it in the story, but as far as the placement of it, this is something that should probably come out in the first half of the second act at the latest. And it's now like almost act 3, and this stuff should have already been kind of aired out. So I'm probably going to end up moving it. But, you know, words are words, and it fits in the draft right now. And this is where it's going to fit in the draft right now, and I'll change it in the next draft. I am just going to try to write that out the best way that I can, knowing that it's probably going to get moved and altered a lot later, but get the words out, and then I will hopefully be able to sandwich these two scenes together. Gonna go take a quick little break, then come back when I have finished my next 30-minute sprint, and we will kind of check back in then. Okay, so change of plans. I've realized that I am starving, and so I am not only going to reheat my coffee, but I'm also making myself some ramen right now. And my little 5-minute break is going to turn into more of a 15 to 20-minute break so that I can eat some food, and then I shall return and hope that this has not ruined my chances of finishing my word count goal today. Hi guys, so I know it has only been a minute for you, but it has been a while for me. I ended up taking a longer break than I had originally anticipated. I made myself some ramen, and for the past however long, I've just been watching some YouTube videos and stuff. So now I am back, and I'm going to jump back in for another 30-minute sprint. I still feel like I'm probably going to be able to get my words in today, as long as I stick with it. I am going to go ahead and jump right into another 30-minute sprint, and then I will check back in with you after that. Alright, so there are another 643 words in the books, literally, which puts me pretty much on track for finishing up in my next sprint. So as far as what I'm actually writing right now, still working on that same scene. I am trying to mash these two pieces together and have them flow naturally, but I think I'm definitely having some issues with movement in this scene, not like physical movement, but just like plot movement, because this is kind of one of those moments where two characters just sit in a room and talk to each other, and all of the movement in the scene comes from their discussion and how their conversation shifts, ebbs and flows depending on what they're each thinking about and all of that stuff. So I'm trying to get it from one kind of emotional extremity to the other in a relatively short period of time, and so I'm trying to do that while also not making the dialogue drag too much. That's kind of what I'm dealing with right now, but I'm also trying not to think about it too much, because even if I can kind of tell that a lot of the stuff that I'm writing right now is in the wrong spot, as in it's not going to end up being in chapter 25, it's going to be earlier, later, right in the same place, I don't know. It's probably not going to be exactly the way that I have it laid out here, but it's working for now, and it's working for the first draft, because I am not going to go back into way earlier in the draft and try to plug this in somewhere if it doesn't work. I'm trying not to think too big picture here. I'm trying to kind of keep it in the details and just be nice to myself this November, and just kind of accept that this is how it's going to be for now. And I'm still happy with the actual writing. I'm still happy with the conversation that they're having. I just am trying to keep the editing alley from coming into my head space too much. So that is what I'm going to be writing for this next and maybe last 30-minute sprint. Based on kind of where I'm at in the story and in this scene right now, I think I'm going to be able to mash those two little scenes together that I was talking about before. I think I will be able to do that today, which will be a nice way to kind of wrap up and get to 20,000 words for today, is to join those together. I don't know if it's going to take 600 words to do that. It might take a little bit less. It might take 600. I don't see it taking much more than that. So we shall see. If I end up finishing and mashing those two together, then that'll be great, because I can then move forward and start writing more chronologically again from that new endpoint, which is like a scene's difference, maybe even a chapter's difference. So we're going to work on that now, and I will check back in with you after this next sprint. so that could not have gone more perfectly, honestly. I was able to get another 620-ish words in, which is pretty much what I was expecting, which brought my grand total for today up to 2,727 words, which brings my overall total for the whole manuscript up to a little bit past 20,000 words. Not only that, but in the process of, working on this stuff today, I told you that my goal was to get those two different scenes to come back together and mesh together. And I figured that I was going to be able to do that in this last sprint, and I did, but it actually ended up working out perfectly, where I was down to like the last minute of my writing sprint, and I wrote a piece of dialogue that I was like, oh, there you go, like there's the transition, it goes perfectly now. So I then cut and copied, pasted, whatever, so that is now a complete piece of writing. Now I have, this one chapter is now 6,300 words, so there's going to need to be some mixing around there, but I got the words out one way or another, and that is the end of that chapter. So I can now move on to the next chapter when I start writing tomorrow. So I feel like this is a very good way to end this video. I'm not going to write anymore. I do have about 5 minutes before I need to head out, so I'm going to quickly wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching and enjoying these writing vlogs. I was so happy to see that you guys really seem to enjoy the previous writing vlog, and I'm hoping that you guys will stick with me through the rest of this NaNoWriMo journey. I hope your NaNoWriMo projects are going well. I hope that you guys are doing okay. And if you're not doing NaNoWriMo, then I hope that whatever project you are currently working on, even if it's not writing related at all, I hope whatever goal that you're trying to accomplish, you are able to do this month. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember that this Saturday, November 16th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time is the Writers in Progress live show on Where in the World is Leah Jane's channel. I will leave that linked down below, as well as the Twitter, so you can keep up on all of the updates that are coming up leading up to that. Make sure to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. I make videos every Friday, and for the month of November, I also make these writing vlog videos on Wednesdays. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.